Do we have any questions for today?
Om Guru, Dr. Radhika ji and all. There is one question. Everyone is bound to suffer due to karma. So how it is different for a spiritual or not spiritual man?
It is correct that the fact that we are living in human bodies is because we have some human karma that we must finish up. But then what is the difference between, let us say, a believer in God and a non-believer in God? We are seeing it from different angles. So there is only one difference. Actually, the karma which comes has to be born. You have to bear the fruits of that. But the one who believes in God has multiple assurances in him. He knows that this world belongs to God. He knows that God is taking care of him. He knows that his love for God will certainly in some way bring the grace and blessings of God. Therefore, he never feels alone in the journey. But on the other hand, a person who is an atheist may tend to not only, of course, suffer the effects of the karma, but he will feel that he is standing alone in front of so much burden, and that will magnify his suffering in his heart. Now, if we see it from the angle of a Jnana yogi, then also again, the effect that the karma will have upon you is going to be different, because once you understand that this karma is the acceptance that whatever is happening to you was initiated by you somewhere. The moment you accept that, suffering reduces to an extent because you are not blaming others now. Till now, we are blaming the world, we are blaming the universe, we are blaming God, we are blaming others for what is happening to us. Therefore, our suffering is manifold. But when we start to walk on the path of Jnana Yoga, not only do we understand that the karma was initiated by us, and therefore we might as well develop more forbearance and to take it, but we also understand the transitory nature of the karma and karma phala. We know that this will come and this will go, but I am the pure soul. I can stand apart from this suffering. So pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And also, I forgot to mention a point for the bhakta. No, for the bhakta, it is said, if you are a devotee of the Lord, if you are a disciple of a great master, then whatever karma phala has to come to you will be mitigated. So if you were to supposed to break a bone, then all you will get is a scratch. So you are protected from various angles. So one is the bhakti way, one is the jnana way. And what is the karma way of reducing the effects of your past karma? Is that once suffering is coming onto you, if you forget your own suffering and still continue to help others who are also suffering, then you will be able to mitigate the effects of whatever bad karma is happening. And this is the difference between the spiritual person and the non-spiritual person. The spiritual person is in love with God. The spiritual person is a jnani. The spiritual person is doing karma yoga instead of karma bhoga. And the spiritual person is going towards chitta vritti nirodha. He is meditating, he is praying. And when he is meditating, he is able to understand the truth of the universe. He is able to know who he is. He can see that he is apart from all the movements that are happening in the body and mind. Therefore, spiritual life comes to the rescue of every person. And one is supposed to use the spiritual life when you are in deep trouble. It is supposed to comfort you. It is supposed to rescue you. This is your boat. Of course, the guru is the boatman. But you have to lead the spiritual life if you want to mitigate your suffering, if you want to override your karma, and if you want to take yourself to freedom. That self-effort, that withdrawing, that witnessing, all that will come. And I'm not saying that it is easy. But what is easy? Is pain easy? Is suffering easy? Is rebirth and death again easy? No. Spiritual path is easier. It is easier to love God than to suffer the pains of this life. It is easier to surrender the ego than to keep saying, I am suffering, I am suffering, I am suffering. It is easier to understand the truth of the soul than to get mixed up with this world. Why? Because we are always the soul. We have only forgotten it. Therefore, the spiritual life is not only relatively easy, it is very important, and it is that life which is going to take us to freedom. I hope that helps. Any other question?
Next question is, you say God is a doer and our job is to do our actions to align with that. When I hear that, I tend to become fatalistic and lazy and say, since God is a doer, then what's there for me to do? How can I still work very hard and do my 100% while still aligning with God's plan?
Okay, yes. So this is an important question. What we tend to do in this question is we want to stay in our little ego. We do not want to shed our little ego and understand who the true I is. And from that egoic point, we want to attain the bliss of the soul, which is never going to happen. So, unless we truly understand who God is and who I am, how will I, to whom am I giving the doership? When I don't even understand who this entity is, who is, sitting or speaking or who appears to be doing the action, I don't understand what this is and I don't even know what God is. Do we really know? When we are saying God is the doer, are we really understanding what the term God means? Are we really knowing that Satchidananda is God? No, it is because of a limited understanding that this question arises. The minute you are able to, understand and perceive in yourself what Satchidananda is, who you are, that very moment this question will not remain only. Only answers will remain. You will know automatically that this Satchidananda is the doer. Most people, when they think of God, is they're thinking of a entity which is separate from them, which is up above in the heavens. That is not the case. You are Satchidananda. You are the walking God. Now, what part of you is working and what part of you is the doer and what part of you is the bhoga? That is the distillation that we have to do through our spiritual practices. That is what meditation is going to tell you, that I am Satchidananda and which part of Satchidananda is actually working and what is the action in the inaction and the inaction in the action. So, only with partial knowledge, we want to just think intellectually. And that is why we get trapped, because in the intellectual thinking process, multiple layers are there. Firstly, I am the thinker. I think I am existing. Then I think my intelligent thinking process is an individualized process. Although the truth is that all thoughts are universally rooted. And even that is a thought process is also not belonging to the real I. So, and the even the knowledge that we gain through all of this mental conversation is at a very, very worldly level. When we have not gained the wisdom of who all of this is, that the world is illusory, till then this question will always confuse us. So only within ourselves, only when in our meditative state or the post meditative state, when we can see the non doer part of our own soul, which is God. All of us are walking gods. When we can see in ourselves the doer and the non-doer simultaneously, only then will I be able to understand what this shloka is truly meaning, or what is the real meaning that, action in action, and how do I act. Now let us come to the point. Okay, one, we accept that we do not understand who God is, who I am, and I'm living in this fallacy. But from here, how do I move? So now, if I'm at this egoic junction and I have to do certain duties, and at least theoretically, I know God is the doer. How do I theoretically know? Because I know that the power and the thinking and the energy which is going through this body, and even this body, was made by God. I have done nothing. I must remind myself intellectually of this truth if I have not perceived it already. And even from that standpoint, there is a particular duty that I need to do. And I think I am the doer. Then what is the attitude with which I should do? Then if I want happiness in this world, now, the main premise of our existence is we are happiness itself, but we have forgotten, and we are looking for happiness in this world. But this world has so many duties in front of us. So, if I want to gain the desired happiness in this world, I will not gain it unless I put my entire mental attention in this duty in front of me. So, this I am speaking when we are in the ego. When I am living through the ego, then unless I put all the attention of my mind, all the energy of my body, and all the willingness of my heart in the task at hand, I will never feel happy and satisfied. And therefore, even from the egoic standpoint, I must do the best, even though I know all of this is an illusion and all of this actually being done by Sachidananda. So this is the theoretical way of approaching the situation till the time you have not realized who Sachidananda is, what is the material of Sachidananda, and that I too am that. So there is no point in, just intellectually, one doesn't want to see the truth. That is why one asks this question. I don't want to do this duty. Why this is so boring? Why should I even do it? Simply because I want to be happy. If I want to be happy in this world, in the life I'm living now, right now, unless I give it my best in this moment, I will not get that happiness. And slowly, as I keep doing this moment by moment, one day will come. And as my meditation is also progressing, I will realize, oh, I was all the time Sachidananda. I am Sachidananda. The happiness that I see in get from a work is the happiness of my own being. It is my own happiness projected in a task outside or in a person outside. And this realization comes slowly. You have till the time you truly understand, we have to follow the scripture, we must follow the guru. If the guru says God is the doer, and even though I do not understand, but I trust that he is saying the truth. And I trust that one day, with my own self effort and by the grace of the guru, I will come to this understanding. Therefore, what is left for me? This moment is left for me. This duty is left for me. Let me give it my all. And let me give in. So the shloka number 25 that we just finished with, so that comes into place. Let me give my limited self to the unlimited vast existence. And that I can do only because I think I am this little self, let me give it all. And only then the eventual goal of life will be attained. That freedom will come once you keep following the scripture, even if you don't understand it in the beginning. Just keep following that. Your heart will tell you, and step by step, one foot in front of the other, keep walking in this direction. We are all in the right direction. We are all disciples of a great avatar who has come specifically to free us. So our understanding will improve by the day, by the hour, with each meditation, and we will come to that conclusion where we will truly understand that God or Sachidananda is the doer as well as the non-doer. And this is both the paradox and the beauty of existence. I think that's it for this question.